Let's play! Whoa!
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You all may call me Pharaoh, and welcome to more Layton, of course, right? This time around, we are going to be starting Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. This is the third game in the series, and if I'm not mistaken, the conclusion of the original trilogy of these Layton games that was released. Well, it says here like 2010, I think maybe a year earlier in Japan and whatnot. Now, we call it Unwound Future, but in the European and Australian regions, it is called the Lost Future. So, this one I was really looking forward to, simply because I just know that apparently the story here is well regarded from a lot of fans. Apparently something very, like, tugging at the heartstrings. So we're gonna see. I barely know anything about this game whatsoever, so I am excited to delve into it. And yeah, you know, 2 games down, and here's the third. Got a seemingly good number left to go. We at least have the prequel trilogy still to go through, but all in due time. Let's go ahead and get this going. And wow, they learned their lesson. Instead of me having to fumble around actually writing my name, I can use a keyboard. Good. See how quick that was? This is a work of fiction. The characters, groups, and events portrayed within are in no way intended, and okay.
It just doesn't seem to add up, Professor.
I honestly thought you were pulling my leg.
What? I wouldn't dream of it.
Professor, I hope this letter finds you well. As for me, I am in quite a predicament. You see, the London we know and love has been thrown into absolute chaos. To complicate matters, the calamity I speak of does not take place in your time. This may be difficult to believe, but I am writing to you from 10 years in the future. I know this is a lot to take in, but I'll explain it all soon. For now, I ask that you head to the clock shop on Midland Road in Baldwin. I look forward to seeing you again. Your student, Luke Triton.
Strange as it sounds, it seems that the author of this letter is none other than your future self, Luke.
From my future self? But how is that even possible?
I don't know, but it does raise the question, if this letter is indeed authentic, how did it get here?
By time-traveling postman? Just joking, of course. But on a more serious note, I think this mystery might be the oddest one we've ever encountered.
Indeed. And even in the future, you seem to need my help in solving it. Your constancy can be quite a comfort in these uncertain times, my boy.
Well, thank you, I suppose. But back to the main question. How do we know the letter is real?
Well, we haven't much to go on yet. But I can't help but think that this strange occurrence is connected to the terrible events of last week.
So my first question is, where the hell is a Layton-mobile? You're taking a double-decker bus? Come on. Now, I will say that always has been a thing. Like, I wouldn't mind actually taking a double-decker bus it looks like it might be a little enjoyable. Might be very touristy, but I don't know. Seems like it might be kind of cool. But yeah, well, this is already confusing. And already knowing what we discovered in Curious Village and Diabolical Box, once again, it's like, is the mystery truly unexplainable? Obviously not. But I am trying to think, what could be a logical reasoning, apparently, to this letter from the future? Professor Layton has received a letter from the unlikeliest of places, the future. The author claims to be Luke, writing from 10 years in the future. But how's that possible?
It all started about a week ago.
Oh god, if Skinny's watching this right now, I know what she's doing.
I was able to guide a concentrated stream of Hammer particles through a temporal vortex, more commonly known as a wormhole. This stream of particles allowed me to divine the terminal points of the vortex. Armed with this information, the next step was to artificially distort the flow of time and generate a massive magnetic field via a Sula coil. Once the magnetic field is firmly established, one has the ability to quite literally punch holes or hive gaps into the very fabric of space-time. After this crucial step, it is simply a matter of constructing an energy gate.
Quite the spread we have here, Inspector. Though, it does make me wonder what we did to deserve invitations to such a feast.
It's obvious, Barton. I'm an influential man in the world of law enforcement. It's only natural I'd be invited to an important event such as this.
I suppose that's possible.
Possible, you say?
Probable. Highly probable, sir.
Just gonna say, absolutely love the voice of Barton. Love it. I'm glad he's back. And that steak looked really delicious, so what the hell they were eating there. So, okay. So, just like any other game, we have our map on the top that displays where we currently are, where we are on the map itself, how many puzzles we've solved, and then the bottom is all the areas that we will actually be in. We can talk to people by tapping on them, we can find hint coins by clicking around, interactive objects, so on and so forth. I'm going to click on the trunk here in the top right. I'm sure we can't really do much yet, as we can see here. In the top, it'll tell you, once again, how many puzzles you solved, how many you found, your total score in terms of pick-a-rats, how many hint coins. The games always start off with 10. They give you 10 right off the bat. I don't know how many are in this game. I'm going with the assumption that it's going to be higher than what we saw in Diabolical Box, and that was like, what, 230? So we can assume, like, at least that plus God knows how much. Same thing with the amount of puzzles. I don't know how much there are currently, but once again, making the assumption that it is higher than what we've seen in the previous games. On the bottom here, we can't do much yet. We only have the mysteries, which we only solved the strange letter, and we can save. So, and just taking a look at the silhouettes in the bottom, that looks like I was going to say a car. It could be, but I do see a little antenna there, so I don't know. Could be like a little toy car, RC car, maybe. Is that supposed to be like a bird on the bottom, maybe? Like perched on something? And then another book on the bottom right? I don't know. And what is this on the bottom right, though? Oh! You can have a memo outside of puzzles. Oh, and look what they did. You can change the thickness. You can change the color. Okay. This is kind of funny. If you guys saw, like, I recently did like a little quick look dive into Maelstrom Legacy, which is a indie game homage to Layton and Wright. And I was saying, like, oh, look, they have like this multicolored memo ability, and I was like, I kind of wish Layton did that. Well, I didn't know that, you know, starting with this game, apparently, they do have that ability. Cool. I really like that. Alrighty. So, and like I said, we can click around. It's the perfect weather for an event like this. And that's that. I guess we should go ahead and see what the Inspector and Barton are doing here.
Well, the food is certainly nothing to write home about.
Sorry you feel that way, sir. I think it's quite scrumptious myself.
This oversalted chopper pile of wilted greens is nothing on Emil's cooking, Amelie's cooking.
If that's your feeling, sir, I'd be happy to relieve you of that, burden.
Now see here, Barton. If you don't return my chop to me at once, I'll have you driving a desk next week.
It would be worth it. This roast is simply delectable.
My God. Barton, you know, to Inspector's point, don't be just grabbing people's food immediately off their plate like that.
Yeah, they certainly are taking the sweet time getting the show on the road.
Come now, sir. It's not all bad. At least there's food to enjoy while we wait.
Honestly, knee-deep in casework as I am, I haven't the time for fancy banquet events.
Oh my, sir, you should try this one. It's absolutely lovely.
God, I love him. Alright. Who is this on the right?
Oh, this food is simply dreadful, Bill. Do get this over with quickly so we can leave.
Oh, yes, dear.
I have to say, I feel a bit out of place here, Professor.
That's quite understandable, Luke. I'm sure most people would feel the same way in the presence of the Prime Minister.
Hey, look! I think I see Inspector Chalmey over there. So, Professor, what do you think about this whole event? Do you believe that someone has really built a working time machine?
I'm not entirely sure. Still, if it proves to be true, can you imagine the stir it will cause in the scientific community?
Well, I, for one, am very excited. Though you don't sound entirely convinced, Professor.
Anything's possible, Luke. But I won't be convinced until I've seen the contraption work for myself. And I must confess, something about this entire presentation seems a bit off.
Why do you say that? Ah, of course. That must be your famous intuition talking, huh?
That's one way of putting it. But enough speculation. Look over there, Luke.
That guard? What about him?
He seems to be looking for a man who snuck into the event uninvited.
Oh, so we have an intruder in our midst.
Why is Layton just assuming that somebody snuck in? But, alright. Now, I will say, like, have they never seen Chrono Trigger? Do they not know the possibilities of what can go wrong with a time machine? Oh, man, I love that game. You know, and every time I think of, you know, Chrono Trigger, I always think of, the same thing comes to mind. Oh, man, it would be nice if we had a new game in the series, or maybe it would be nice to having a full-blown remake. Now, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there's certain IPs that, well, actually, I don't know, would it be technically Square owning? I don't know. Either way, there's certain series of games out there that if developers and publishers actually did something with it, they would literally print money, in my opinion. Chrono Trigger, or the Chrono series being one of them, and then, of course, Earthbound, or the Mother series. Give us something, please. So, oh, and you know what, I have to say this really quick. You guys might be noticing some weird, glitchy lines here and there. Frankly, they've been around since I've been playing Curious Village. I've been messing around in various settings and whatnot and various other cores, but it doesn't seem to really be fixing anything. Frankly, I could be doing something incorrectly on my end, but you know, once again, I just do apologize if they do get in the way. So, all right, let's see what's going on with this guard. Seems like it's going to be a puzzle. Anytime you click on something, you see the exclamation, it's always going to be a puzzle.
Oh dear, this is not going to go over well.
You look troubled, sir. Might we be of any assistance?
Oh, yes, please. You see, I've just received a report of some untoward behavior.
Puzzle 1. Party Crasher. There's an uninvited guest at the event, but the guard has received a few clues as to his whereabouts. His table is next to one with a red flower. His tablecloth is a different color than any next to it. Oh, and his table isn't decorated with a yellow flower. Next to means tables connected by dotted lines. Take the guard to the intruder's table. Okay. So, and it tells you how to solve puzzles, like use a stylus to drag the guard to the bottom corner of the touchscreen. When you have the correct table, click submit. Obviously, not every puzzle is going to be like that. It's going to tell you like to circle something, it's going to tell you to drag something, draw something, etc., etc. Now, as we already mentioned, we have the memo capability, which is going to help out a lot if we need to. And just like any other Layton game in the series, we have hints that we could utilize by using those hint coins. Now, I think the big thing here is that even if you get all the hint coins, you're not going to be able to like use all the hint coins for every single puzzle, because I think there's like 3 hints you can get for each puzzle. So obviously, depending on how many puzzles there are, you can't use all 3 hint coins in each one. Just saying. Alrighty. So let's well, this is the very first puzzle in the game. It should be very easy, so let's see here. And this is where the memo's going to come into play here. It's going to help us out. So we know that his table is not decorated with a yellow flower, so immediately we can get rid of anyone that has a yellow flower. Boom. Right? And we also know that his table is next to one with a red flower. So, not this bottom one at the very least. Now, does it have a red flower on it? Let's see, his tablecloth is a different color than any next to it. Oh, okay, so it can't be this or this, because they have one that's the same color. Same thing with this white. Well, frankly, even this yellow here and this white, so that only leaves us with the tablecloth, or the table there in the top right, with the red flower and the red tablecloth. Seems logical enough. Let's see if we're right.
Here's my answer.
There we go.
Phew, that's a relief.
Hey, they brought back that puzzle guy from the other games. I'm gonna try keeping an eye on that too. Like, is it gonna be the same people in these puzzles? We'll see. Good work. You found the party crasher. Now it's time to let the guard do his job. Splendid work, my boy. We snitched. And every time we complete a puzzle, it's going to be added to our puzzle index, which allows us to replay puzzles that we've seen or solved in the series or throughout the game. And here's Pickerats. There are points that indicate a puzzle's like difficulty. The more Pickerats a puzzle's worth, the tougher it is. Typically. When you submit an incorrect answer for a puzzle, the number of Pickerats you can earn from that puzzle decreases, so think carefully before answering. And once you gather lots of Pickerats, once you've beaten the game and saved, go to the bonuses section and load your game file. From there, you can enter the top secret area where a number of fun extras are waiting for you. The more Pickerats you earn, the more content you unlock. Frankly, a lot of times it's just like, concept art. Well, not even that. It's all the things we've seen in the game. The profiles, music, the movies, things like that, but cool to aim to get everything if you can.
Ooh, thanks so much for your help. That fellow's mooching days are over.
Did you see that, Professor? I just aided in the apprehension of a suspect. Oh, look, the presentation's about to start. Let's get back to our seats.
All right, let's see what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking part in an event that will undoubtedly go down in scientific history. And here to demonstrate mankind's first time machine is its creator, Dr. Alan Stangan.
Thank you, my esteemed colleagues. After years of research in the field of time travel, I'm pleased to share the fruits of my labor. In just a few short moments, I will be moving on to our scheduled demonstration. But first, I'm delighted to announce that Prime Minister Bill Hawks is in attendance today.
Really quick, I'm just interrupting here. Is that Cam Clark? Because it sounds a lot like Liquid Snake. I'm gonna look this up afterwards because this already has shot up to the top tier of like my Layton list, if that really is the case.
As such, I have reserved a very special seat for our very special guest. Please, join me on stage, Prime Minister. No need to be shy.
Is this thing real?
What do you mean?
I mean, is this contraption a genuine working time machine?
Why don't you have a seat? See for yourself.
Before we start, would you honor us with a few words, Prime Minister?
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a monumental day, not only for our great nation, but for the entire human race. Since the beginning of time, we humans have strived to transcend our natural limits. We have conquered the skies and the seas, and we have even traveled to outer space. But the one frontier that has always eluded us is time. Indeed, traveling through time is a dream many thought was out of reach for humanity. Until now. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will join me in ushering in a new era for mankind.
Thank you for those words, Prime Minister. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Please take it away, Dr. Stangan.
I have just one more request before we start. I'd very much appreciate the Prime Minister's assistance in this demonstration. What do you say, Mr. Hawks?
What?
I assure you, there's no cause for concern.
But I was under the impression that I would merely be observing the proceedings.
Ah, well, do forgive my presumption. It was never my wish to make you uncomfortable. I realize it's been some time since you traded in the hard sciences for the softer variety. Please, feel free to return to your seat, Prime Minister.
Wait. What I mean to say is, of course I can assist you.
Bill, have you lost your mind?
Ah, that's the courage we've come to expect from our fearless leader. You have my thanks. And now, without further ado, I give you my time machine. Mr. Hawks, would you mind just stepping inside?
nonsense just happened?
Something's gone very wrong.
Oh, where is he? Someone find Bill!
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm and refrain from panicking.
This is chaos. The Prime Minister and Dr. Stungun had vanished.
My word.
So you think that what happened last week is somehow connected to this letter?
So, who didn't see that one coming? I mean, there must be a logical reasoning, but we're not going to find out until God knows how long. So, let's just hope for the best.
Wait, maybe if the time machine was real, this letter is real too.
I don't know about that, but these two elements aren't the only puzzling issues. Tell me, Luke, have you heard about the recent disappearances occurring here in London?
Oh yes, I read about it in the paper. Some of London's greatest scientists have been mysteriously vanishing.
Yes, and I can't shake the feeling that those disappearances are linked to this whole affair. In any case, it seems our best course of action is to head to the location mentioned in the letter.
Good idea.
Little odd that the scientists are going missing. And if I'm not mistaken, when the inventor, what was it, Stungun, whatever, he kind of mentioned to the Prime Minister that, hey, you know, you kind of gave up the hard sciences for the softer variety. It makes it kind of seem that perhaps, you know, Bill was a former scientist of some sort. It had something to do in the science field. Maybe. Prime Minister Bill Hawks mysteriously disappeared during a time machine demonstration. No trace of him was found, so where could he possibly be now?
Following the clue in the letter, the professor and I set on. What awaited us was one of the biggest mysteries we've ever encountered.
To my dear friend Pharaoh.
Somehow, a single letter had made its way back through time. And the sender, strange as it sounds, was me. The future me, that is. Little did we know that this letter would draw us into the strangest of situations.
Sure, we can. Hold on a minute. Why is the okay face not really like smiling? It's kind of like, all right. Or is it smiling? No, it looks like a pretty straight line. All right, I just find that weird. Okay, yes, we're gonna go ahead and save. And there we are. And it tells us where we are, how many puzzles solved, etc., etc. Oh, we're just in the prologue. All right, the clock shop at Midland Road. Well, here we are. The clock shop with the letter mentioned should be around here somewhere. But where? This seems an ideal time to consult the map that accompanied the letter. Here, Luke. See if you can't find the shop's location by yourself. Say no more, Professor. By solving a puzzle. The clock shop. Below is the map to the clock shop that accompanied the letter from future Luke. Using the times on the side of the map as clues, find the shop. Draw a circle around the letter of the correct building and then tap submit. Alright. So once again, how to solve the puzzle, use a stylus to draw a circle, the area you wish to submit, and once you have the pointing finger appear over the selection, we hit submit. Alright, so we have a starting point there in the bottom left. We have A through H, I guess. H, I, J, K, no, J. And we have seemingly just numbers there in the top right.
off the bat, so something tells me that this game's going to focus heavily on time mechanics, or, you know, time, speak, if you want to say. So it may not make sense, but it's like, well, wait a minute. You know, 12 o'clock on a clock. Like, where did the hands point, you know? Or like 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So I think simply like the time they're giving, the time they're giving to us is directions we need to take. You know, say, hey, you know, there's something, you know, behind us, 6 o'clock, or oh, something to the left of us, 9 o'clock, something like that. So let's take what we know. We have 12, 3, 12. No. Okay, hold on a minute. Maybe when they say 12, they mean like literally go up to this intersection, maybe. 3, 12, 9, 6. So, following that logic, it should be H.
How about this?
There you go.
No puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
Good timing. The answer is H. The times indicate the direction you should follow at each intersection and the order in which to take them. For each time listed, the hour hand on an analog clock points to the direction you should go at each intersection. Great! Finding that shop should be a snap now! Let's go, Professor! Alright, but before we head off, let's quickly review how to move about. Care to assist me in this review, Luke? I know the drill, Professor. I can take it from here. To start, tap the shoe icon. Once you tap the shoe, arrows will appear. Tap an arrow to move in that direction. That's exactly right. So just remember, whenever you wish to move, start by tapping that shoe. And as I mentioned, you know, like, we tap the shoe and it's like, yeah, we can go there. And we'll do so, but first, there's things to do here. Who's this individual? Well, hello there, Bright Eyes. I can tell from the looks on your faces that you're hankering to hear something useful. Alright, here's my pearl of wisdom. Go and tap that car parked right over there. Okay. I broke it! Oh, but I got a hint coin. Oh no, it just fell apart! Never mind that. Did you see that coin that just popped out? That's a hint coin, and it's yours to keep. If you ever find yourself stuck on a puzzle, you can spend one of those lovely coins and get a hint. Just remember that there's a limit to the number of hint coins you can find. If you use them willy-nilly, you may find yourself in a pinch later. Hint coins are tucked away all over the place, so tap anything that looks fishy. You might find a clue. Well, that's the end of my speech. Good luck with whatever it is you're doing out there. Ta-ta! Alright, and there we go. We have our introduction to hint coins in this game. Once again, I'm going to find all of them. I'm not aiming to use any of them. So this is just for, you know, your guys' knowledge, like where to find them. So one of them is going to be here in the top left, and the other is going to be on the signpost here on the right. And there you go. Actually, there might be another one. There it is. Okay, I gotta be very careful here. So, like, the usual spoiler-free guide that I have to find the hint coins, I had to use a different one because the other one didn't simply have them. But it said, like, yeah, you gotta carefully examine the tree. So, now, most of the time, there's only going to be, like, 3 hint coins in each area. Other times, there could be a little bit more. So, this was one of those rare instances. So, and there might be times where there may be coins that you can never pick up again. I do not know that information this time about. In Diabolical Box, the first, like, 3 or so chapters, they were all completely missable. So, you know, just follow me along here, and then we should be all right. Now we can move up here. Say, Professor, how are we going to keep track of our progress? Ah, yes. I suspect we could both use a refresher on that subject. To start, tap the trunk icon located in the upper right corner of the bottom screen. This will open the trunk, where you can access several useful options by tapping on their icons. This is the save option. Tap this to save your progress throughout the adventure. This is the puzzle index. This option allows you to review puzzles you found during the adventure. Puzzles you've solved are marked with a check. Meanwhile, puzzles you found but have yet to solve are left blank. You can also replay any previously solved puzzle from this menu. However, in order to retry a puzzle you've yet to solve, you'll need to return to that puzzle's location. Finally, this is the journal. Tap the journal to review the events of the story. Well put, Professor. Well, shoot, I thought that was me talking the entire time.
Thank you, Luke. I imagine we'll make good use of the trunk during our investigation.
Once again, we'll take a quick look at it now that some of these options did open up. Like we have the puzzle index, as we've already seen. Anything that we solved or found before will be here. However, if you simply found it, you had to go back to where the location was to actually give it another shot. Wait a minute, it's actually kind of new up there. It tells us the hints up there. What the hell is S? Is that a 4th tier hint? Did that always exist, or is this the first game to utilize that? That I really don't know. Interesting. Okay. And then, as I mentioned, the journal. This gives you just like a synopsis of what you've seen so far. I'm not going to read all these, as I've always said before. If you guys want to read it, you can do so yourselves by pausing the video, but it just simply gives you, like, just a written synopsis of what we've done so far. Alright, let's grab some more hint coins. We have one in the sign there on the top. We have one in the back, which I'm guessing looks like a mailbox. And we have one here on the right on this shop in the corner here. Or, yeah, right there. Alright. Now we'll talk to this person. Hey, we got a puzzle coming up.
You're looking for a clock shop, you say? No, I can't say I know of the one around here.
Alright, well, thanks just the same.
Oh, wait just a moment. Thinking on it again, I might have passed a clock shop just the other day.
Terrific. Do you remember where you saw it?
Well, that I'm not sure of. I have trouble remembering stuff like this when I have other things on my mind. Help me with this puzzle that I've had on my brain. I might be able to recall where I saw that shop.
You're in luck, sir. I happen to be a bit of a whiz when it comes to puzzles.
Bus scheduling. Let's see here. It takes you 1 hour to get to the office by bus. Your work takes 2 hours to complete, after which you can catch the bus back home. Based on the departure times listed below, which bus, A, B, C, D, or E, should you take to work in order to minimize the wait for the ride home? Note, the departure times for the buses home are listed to the right. Outside of, trying to figure this out, the whole idea of this is stupid. You gotta take a bus ride, it takes an hour to get to an office that you're only gonna be there for 2 hours and go back home? I hope to God they're getting paid really good money, but anyway. So this seems like it might be simple enough. We just simply gotta kind of go down the line here and like kind of calculate how things are gonna be. So for example, 4 a.m. If that's the bus we take, we'll get to work at 5, and then we're gonna be there until 7 a.m. And then from this list, we gotta determine what's the closest time for a bus. Here we have more than likely, well, we can't do, that's already past that. And the earliest time, I guess, here will be 10:30. That's 3.5 hour waiting. So, oops. Gotta write this down here. So that's 3.5. Then we got 9. The best way just to kind of figure this out instead of like trying to do distance and that, just add 3 to whatever departure time is here, and then that's the time we will be done. So we have 12 p.m. and obviously the closest time here would be 5
5 p.m. That is absolutely not going to be the answer there. We have 2:30 p.m., meaning that we'll be all done by 5:30 p.m. The closest then would be 8 p.m., so that is going to be 2.5. So now we know for a fact that it's not going to be A either. We got 6. We'll all be done by 9. And closest thing would be 12 a.m., which unfortunately, once again, doesn't beat C. So finally, we have 12 a.m. We'll be done by 3 a.m. And then... Oh! We're done by 3 a.m., and then we have this earliest departure here is 5 a.m. That's actually 2 hours. So, the answer is going to be E. That was easy enough.
This one's as good as solved. Phew, that's a relief.
Taking bus E to work at midnight will result in the shortest wait for a ride home. Your bus leaves at 5 a.m. What type of job is this? Hey, nice going, kid. Thanks. So, about that clock shop? Right, the clock shop. It's somewhere on this road, I think. Well, gotta scoot later. Wait! Aw, he ran off. Something tells me he was more interested in getting us to solve his riddle than helping. Not to worry, though. I'm sure we can find the clock shop on our own. It's probably just a bit farther down the path. It still kind of pisses me off, though. It's like, what the hell, dude? I'm just checking something here. Yep, we're at 17. So I am trying to keep track, like, hey, are we making good progress so far? And I believe, yes, we are. So, all right. Okay, I'm also checking, like, what time I'm at, but we still have some good time here. Let's move up. Now we're in the fork of Midland Road. Oh my god, is that freaking Stashin? What is going on? I love this man. Well, first, before we talk to him, let's go ahead and grab those 3 hint coins. There's going to be one in a window on the top there, another on the window on the door to the left, and one somewhere in the back. There's whatever the hell this is over here. There you go. All right, now we get to talk to Stashin. Can't say I've ever seen you two whippersnappers before. Are you sure about that? I feel like we've met before. Oh, no. You must be thinking of someone else. But enough about that. I've got some juicy information you two might want to hear. Oh, if you were going to tell us about hint coins, there's no need to continue. The nice woman back there already gave us a full explanation. What? But explaining hint coins is just about the only time we ever get to chat. That about tea. How could you let someone else talk about, let me give my speech? What, so I guess you're saying is that we have met before? Well, I'm certainly not feeling too hot. I better head home. Be seeing you fellas around. Well then. Okay. I hope he comes back. Stashin is funny. Oh, there's a hidden puzzle there on the staircase there on the left. Where do you suppose these stairs go, Professor? I'd say they probably lead to a more residential area. Say, Luke, all this talk of stairs has reminded me of a puzzle. Care to hear it? Would I ever? What do you mean all that talk? You barely... okay. Moving day. 2 men are moving boxes from the first floor to the 3rd. The larger man can carry 2 boxes at a time, and it takes him 1 minute to get to the 3rd floor. The smaller man can carry 1 box, only 1 box at a time, but it takes him just 30 seconds to make it to the 3rd floor. For both men, a return trip to the 1st floor is the same as a trip up. If there were 7 boxes total, how many minutes would it take the men to get all the boxes to the 3rd floor? Okay. Oh, And here's another way to solve puzzles. We got an input answer, display the screen shown below. You can write in the answer here. When you're finished inputting your answer, tap submit. Okay. So, I don't think it should be that bad. It's more so like just kind of calculating, but also time. The big thing here is like at the very end of the day, it wants us to know how many minutes is being used to carry up all 7 boxes. So I guess the easiest thing to do is like count what happens after each minute. In the first minute, we have, I'll just use B&S. The big guy will have 2 boxes, but he's still upstairs. That's the big thing, because it takes him a minute to fully get up there. The small guy, he brought up 1, but with that being said, he's already downstairs because he already delivered his 1 box, and then now he's back to the floor, the first floor. So after the first minute, we have 3 boxes, right? So now with the second minute, the big guy, he's still gonna have only 2 because he didn't do anything yet. But once again, this guy went back up, and well, no, excuse me, he went back up and then down. So now we have 4 total that got up there. And then finally, after the third minute, this guy took another 2 back up. And this guy, once again, went up and, well, can't even say back down because they should be done by now. Because that puts us at 7. So, it took a total of 3 minutes. That's a 3, don't worry about it.
How about this? No puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
Correct. It would take 3 minutes to get all the boxes to the top floor. This puzzle gets a lot easier if you draw a diagram. Well, diagram, writing it out, period, it all works. Exemplary thinking, Luke. Now, let's get back to work. Alrighty. Now we are in the clock shop front. Yeah, man, even if you didn't know where the hell a clock shop was, it's very hard to miss that. Just saying. Now, before we continue, we got a couple hint coins. There's going to be one on the stairs on the left. There we are. There's going to be one on the sign a little bit above the window here, right in the middle. And then, I think, on the signage on the top right. Maybe? Nope. Well, a little bit. So, like, on the brick of the archway, kinda, right there. Okay. Now, we can actually go inside to the shop. This must be the place, Professor. Ah, finally. I'll get the door. Huh? What seems to be the matter, Luke? The door's locked. Now how are we supposed to get in? Let me have a look. Ah, of course. It seems we need to solve a puzzle on this door to gain entrance. What do you mean, of course? Who in their right mind as a business owner would do that? Okay. The timepiece, 20 picarats. You've arrived at the clock shop, but there doesn't seem to be a way to open the door. While you're looking for the doorknob, a voice from inside calls out, "Press the panel with the timepiece!" What panel do you press? Remember, you can only press 1. Tap the object you wish to submit as your answer, and then when you have it highlighted, tap submit. So kind of like, you can only do 1. It's kind of weird that they kind of let you do multiple, but, okay. Press the panel with the timepiece. It can only press 1. So, like, my things I do is just press 1 where, like, you know how you do those CAPTCHAs when you get on, you know, for, like, security things and when you're trying to access a website. Like, I was like, oh, maybe you got to select all the ones that have, like, the clock on it or something. But we can only do one. Same thing with the time. We can't just select all of them as time. So the only thing, I guess I'm trying to take a look at the actual images within each panel, and like I noticed that we have like it kind of looks like a Triforce here and there, and like a booby over here, but I don't think that means anything. The only thing that stands out a little bit to me is the one on the top left, because I don't know about you guys, but that looks like an hourglass. That is the closest thing here I can imagine to be a timepiece. Let's give that a shot.
How about this?
There we go.
I knew it!
If you look closely, you'll see an hourglass on the correct panel. Now, look, the door's opening. That did the trick.
Look, over there!
What's this?
Oh, gracious customers! We haven't had any of those in ages. Welcome! Good day to you, madam. You'll have to excuse us, but we're not actually here to shop. You see, I received a letter the other day pointing me here. Tee-hee-hoo, a letter you say? Let me have a look at it, dearie. Yes, there's no mistake here. Whoever sent you this wanted you to visit our little shop. So you don't know the person who sent us this letter? Unfortunately, I can't say I do, but I do know who you are, Professor Layton. Oh, really? And how do you know the professor? Tee-hee-hoo. Well, it's hard not to know a man who's in the paper so often. And I do love my morning paper. I read it front to back every day. So of course I know the professor. Did you hear that, Professor? Further proof that you're famous throughout all of London. Even all the way out here. Hey, now, what do you mean all the way out here? Just because we don't fancy living in Sardine Tin Flats doesn't mean that we're not centrally located. Still, it is quite a surprise to see the famous Professor Layton in the flesh. I'm going to need some proof before I believe you're not just some celebrity impersonator. Okay, who the hell will be doing that? Well, you know what, never mind. Needling needles. It's so dark in the shop that I'm having trouble seeing these tiny needles and thread. Can you help me out of this jam, dearie? There are two threads, A and B. How many needles eyes does thread A pass through? Okay, this is gonna be fun. So, there's gonna be certain puzzles like this where a lot of times it's just a matter of being patient and, yeah, just tracing a wire. So, with that being said and done, I don't know why to give us B then. I guess it's the whole point is like, oh, do not get confused, so I actually might want to make that bigger. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shoot. I already messed that up. Hold on a minute. That did count as one. Okay, so do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe Maybe. 1? No, my thank God I did that again. I counted this one on accident. That's not 1. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Yes. I think it's 10. Sometimes you gotta just be very careful and kind of don't be ashamed to redo things, you know? Or like recount, double check.
Just as I suspected.
You got it. Thread A goes through 10 needles. Counting these needles sure is hard work. Well, I, for one, am thoroughly convinced. You certainly do live up to your reputation. Of course he does. Yes, well, about that letter. I can't say I've seen it before, but my husband might know something about it. He's out right now, but he should be back any minute. Why not look around the shop while you wait? Alright. So now we're inside the clock shop in the back room. We do have more hint coins. We have a clock there in the top left. We have one by... Is this like a piano here or whatever in the bottom left? There you go. And then that big red button there you see in the right. There you go. This clock does seem a little on the nose. It's a puzzle. Wow! Can you believe this clock? It certainly is impressive. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to work. Well, there's no shortage of ways to tell the time here. Oh, you just reminded me of a splendid puzzle, Luke. What's the time? This analog clock fell off the wall and hit the floor so hard that all the numbers popped right off. What a mess. The clock also stopped working when it hit the ground, but even without the numbers, you can still tell exactly what time it fell. What time it fell. What time is the clock showing? Don't worry about AM or PM. What time's it showing? I'm just kind of curious. What inputs? Okay, so it does give us both like the hour and the times, because right off the bat you would assume like that's what like 7:10 or so. Like if we input the numbers ourselves, I'm not doing this right. I'm definitely not spacing it out correctly, but you know, something I just noticed though. Yeah, something I just noticed. You see these notches? You would think that if this is indeed 7:10 whatever, that there would be a notch right here. There isn't. But there's a notch right there. Well, to general vicinity. So what that means, in my opinion, is that this whole clock is skewed a little bit to the right. We need to put it back a little bit there, and if we do that, that's simply just 6 o'clock. That's the only... Yeah, because I besides that, I don't know how else we're supposed to figure out what the time is. You know, because a lot of times we're going to have these puzzles where you really need to pay attention to, like, the actual image itself, because they're going to try screwing with you. And a lot of times, too, like, this seems way too obvious. It's like, oh, it's 7-something, right? Like, it's way too obvious, so a lot of times that really can't be the answer. So we're going to go with 6 o'clock. Now, I don't know how they want us to input this, if we just simply do 0600. I mean, they did say don't worry about AM, PM, but, like, that is 6 o'clock. So...
Here's my answer.
there you go.
No puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
Handy. Once you notice exactly where the hour hand is pointing, the rest is pretty easy. Yep. Once again, that notch is what really helps. You know, I've never seen a clock so big up close. It's a real shame it seems to be broken. My husband will be back soon, so just have a look around the shop. Alright. Well, we checked out the back room. Let's go down here. Now we're in, well, the actual clock shop. Once again, 3 more hint coins. One's gonna be at the clock here in the top right. The other one's gonna be on the notice or whatever flyer there is on the bottom left. And the other is gonna be like on the outside of this clock here on the right, this green one. There you go. So there's that. And it looks like we have a puzzle by clicking on the clock here on the right. I've never seen such a wide variety of clocks in one place. Yes, and they're all extremely well made. Whoever built them must be tremendously talented. Really? How can you tell that just by looking at them? One gains an eye for these things with age, my boy. You know, I have a superb puzzle about clocks that seem particularly, apropos. Apropos? Okay, never mind. Care to try? I'm thinking, like, is he talking like in freaking Gen Z? You bet I would, Professor. Just say it would be appropriate. The odd clock. Here is a numberless clock that some prankster has rotated an unknown amount. The clock is still running normally, though, and each colored circle on its face represents an hour. Even without the numbers, you can still tell what time it is. Write down the exact hour. It doesn't matter whether it's AM or PM, but your answer should be in the form of XX o'clock. So, hold on. So yeah, like, we don't have to know the minutes. So now we have to know, well, we have to figure out the exact time. Well, 2 things come to mind. We have the sun on the left there, and we have the moon on the right. Kind of almost indicating that kind of tells you like the time of day that it is, right? Now, the only other thing that kind of stands out to me, which actually, never mind, I'm mistaken. I was kind of looking at like how it's like green, yellow, red, and I thought for whatever reason like that's like some type of like pattern, but don't think that's really the case. The hell do the colors got to do with anything? Frankly, the whole idea, even with the symbolism, what the hell does that have to do with that anything? Even without the numbers, you can still tell what time it is. Like, I should be able to tell what time it is right now. Oh! Now, see, guys, I think I mentioned this before, but you know that rubber ducky method where you're trying to solve, like, a puzzle or solve some type of problem, and you just talk out loud, and sometimes it just kind of springs to your mind? That's kind of what happened here. Because I was saying, like, well, what the hell do, like, the images have to do with anything? What do the colors have to do with anything? And it's like, wait a minute, take a look. Take a closer look at the clock. The hour hand and the minute hand are lined up together. There's literally only one time that can do that. It doesn't matter if it's AM or PM, it's just gonna be 12 o'clock. That's just simply the only way it's gonna work.
Here's my answer.
That was good.
No puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
Nicely done. Yes, the answer is 12 o'clock. The only time the hour and minute hands would overlap on a clock, like this, is 12 o'clock. Though it's impossible to tell if it's noon or midnight. That is true. Now, once again, I was kind of thinking, like, oh, it had something to do with the imagery, but it's like, how? You still don't know how that's going to work? Anyway. Spot on, Luke. Good work. Alright. Well, can we... If I go down again... We've been here for quite some time now. I wish the owner's husband would hurry back. So yeah, well, there's really nowhere else to go besides going back up. Oh, I think I just heard the door. Someone's here. That must be my husband. Wait till you see the little gem I picked up today, love. Oh my! Customers, your name's Cog? And I just realized her name is Spring. Oh my god. Welcome back, dear. This here's Professor Layton. He tells me he has some business with the shop. Layton? You're Professor Layton? My apologies, I wasn't expecting you so soon. No apologies necessary, my good man. Oh, and allow me to introduce my... Apprentice! I'm the professor's apprentice, Luke. Nice to meet you, sir. Luke, you say? What I mean to say is those are some fine manners. Nice to meet you too, lad. The name's Cog. Tell me, Cog, you seemed a bit flustered by our arrival. We certainly don't mean to impose. Oh, no, it's no imposition at all. It's just that I had instructions to show you our biggest clock in action upon your arrival. It certainly is quite a beauty. Pity it's not working. Yes, I plan to give her a tune-up before you stop by so you could see her in all her glory. Now that I'm getting on in age, I have trouble remembering to keep the old gal in good repair. To be honest, I can't recall where this last gear goes, and without it, I can't start up the clock for you. Ah, well, it certainly makes sense why our arrival might have taken you off guard. Tell me, the papers say you're a learned man, whatever. Surely you can figure out where this gear goes, yes? Me? I'd like to help, but I'm not a mechanical engineer, you see. Oh, at least give it a try. Don't you want to see our biggest clock in its full working splendor? I certainly do. Very well. I'll give it a shot. Alright, Cog down. 25 picarats. Alright, your task is to make the top and bottom cogs turn clockwise. Alright, as shown by the red arrows in the diagram. In order to do this, which extra cog should be inserted? A, B, or C? Okay. Tap the letter in the center of the correct cog to submit your answer. Now, we've had a couple of these already. We literally just had one when I did that quick dive in Maelstrom Legacy. So the easiest way to kind of go about it is like, alright, well, just start looking into how each one goes. We already know this one, top one, goes clockwise. And in order for that to turn that way, this connected one must go that way. Meaning that this one must go that way. Meaning that... Even when I do this, I still get a little like, I get a little flustered. Meaning this one goes that way. Now hold on, really quick. Also means if the top right there goes counter, then this one goes that way. So we have those figured out. Let's take a look at the bottom here. So the bottom one obviously goes clockwise, meaning that this one goes that way. And then the one on the left must go counter. Okay, so that should be all of them, right? So now we gotta choose a cog now that's gonna make this work. Alright. I guess we can start with C here on the right. If that turns, if it's the one right above it turns clockwise, This is gonna turn that way. And that's not gonna work, because now it contradicts the one on the bottom. B, on the other hand, let's see. If I turn that one at counter, then this one goes that way. Which does align with the cog right on top, because it's going to be going, it'll also go clockwise. So that might be it, but let me take a look at A. If I turn the bottom left, if that goes counter, then that means it would go that way. And that contradicts the one on the right. So I guess it's B.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
All right.
Few things
Not terrible,
satisfy
but
like
I
a
definitely
puzzle
take
solved.
my time with those, because it's like I just gotta wrap my head around it a little bit more. But we got it. Excellent. The answer is B. If there's an odd number of cogs between the top and bottom cogs, then those two cogs will move in the same direction. However, if there's an even number of cogs between the top and bottom, they will move in opposite directions. Oh, well, that's kind of interesting to even know. By choosing B, there will be 5 cogs between the two main cogs, so the direction of the rotation will be the same. I never realized that. Okay, well, I guess that's another way to do it very quickly. All right. That did the trick. You stay right here. I'll go start her up. Here goes. Oof. Sorry for the crunchiness of the sound there.
Are you all right, Luke?
Yes, but that was quite a shake.
Huh? What is going on here?
And just where in the world are we?
How did Layton know to immediately go outside? Did he look out the window beforehand? Like, odd. So it shook, and they don't know where the hell where they are anymore? See, that's where the logical part comes into play. It's like, okay, did we really go somewhere, or what happened? Alrighty. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we just finished the prologue, and we go into Chapter 1. Is this the future? Hey, the door just slammed behind us, and now it's locked. Well, that's not very polite. It does appear that we've been shut out. And why does everything look so different out here than just a few moments ago? I honestly don't know. But seeing as we can't get into the clock shop right now, why don't we take a look around the area? Warped London, or London warped. When Professor Layton and Luke emerged from the clock shop, the streets of London suddenly looked quite different. What could explain this baffling turn of events? Now, I'm going to make a huge assumption, and I want no one to correct me, obviously, because I don't want to be spoiled, but I'm trying to think somewhat logically here what could have happened. The whole idea of time travel and whatnot, I just don't think exists in this game. Could it happen sometime in human history, or in our time span? Not when we're around, I think, but hundreds, thousands of years from now, maybe. But either way, I digress. I'm trying to once again think logically about this. I think when they flipped whatever, or like they turned on the clock, maybe the building moved somehow. Either it got turned around, and like this, it's just the other side of the clock shop looks like this, and like and the area looks like that, or we went underground. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know, guys. Like I have a feeling that we didn't actually warp somewhere, but hey, I could be wrong. Alright, but yeah, this will be a perfect time to end the video here. Once again, we have a few more of these Layton entries. Feel free to go ahead and read them if you so desire. But, yeah, I'm super intrigued, obviously, and I really can't wait to see how this is going to unfold. So, as usual, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time for more of Let's Play Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. Love you all so much, and don't forget to spread that love around. Have a great day, everybody.